Hey guys, this is Terry with Futures.io, and it's my pleasure to welcome Anthony from Stage 5 Trading and Walter Galwas from iSystems for today's webinar, An Introduction to iSystems with Stage 5 Trading. During the webinar, please feel free to type your questions into the questions box, and we'll do our best to answer them throughout and at the end of the event. If you're watching us on YouTube, please do us a favor and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the webinar. And as always, please feel free to share, comment, subscribe to our channel. It really helps us a lot. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter with @Futures.io. Without further delay, I'll hand it over to Anthony and Walter.
Thank you very much, Terry. We're really excited to be here and excited to show you guys this new and exciting software with the S5 iSystems. I think it's great to have Walter on here because he's the man behind all of the technology and software, and I think he'll be able to give us a preview of the software and answer questions, walk us through what iSystems is and how it works, why it might be important or interesting to each individual or to individual traders. And with that being said, Walter, if you want to start us off here.
Sure, you're going to give it...
Okay, there it goes. There we go.
You see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we're live.
Perfect. And so, as Anthony said, really, I would send as many questions as you can to him, and we'll try to answer them during this whole session or afterwards. My name is Walter from iSystems. I'm one of the original developers of the product, of iBroker, which we'll touch on briefly. To give a little bit of history of myself, I started back in the trading pits in the mid-'90s, so I've really learned the industry from the ground up, from trading in the trading pits to going on screen. That's been one of the challenges that I've always felt throughout the years, is kind of making that crossover. So that's where we really started our development with iBroker, which is a mobile trading app which supports S5 Mobile Trader. It's a product that we started developing about 15 years ago. And I bring this up for a couple of reasons. One, if you are a trader that trades on your own, it's free, it's awesome, you should download it. I know you'll enjoy it. It's been years in the making. I do touch on this product simply because it is something that has helped us really develop iSystems because of the technology. I won't touch too much on iBroker because that's not why we're here today, but it does give us full view of the account, of the positions from your phone, which again, using this technology is why we were able to build iSystems.
And it's nice because when the iSystems is placing a trade, you get to see it live on your mobile, so you're still connected. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire solution is having that exposure, keeping you connected and interested in the markets while you don't have time, for example, or while you're working. It pops up on your phone, you see that you're in a trade, and you get to stay engaged.
And that's one thing, again, it's free. So if you go to the Droid store, the Apple store, whatever the app store, you guys can download it for free. You can go and demo. If you have live accounts with Stage 5, you can activate it again for free. But again, I don't want to go too far off base on what we're talking about, because really why everyone is here is for the iSystems product. iSystems is unique. And I think one of the things that's important is I started, when I did leave the trading floor, I was very involved in trading systems. I believed in trading systems. And so I've been really working on coming up with a solution for clients that really gives them transparency and gives them the liquidity that they need. Our platform is going to be much different than other platforms that are out there. Some of the specific reasons for this is all these systems are on our servers here in Chicago. We've co-located with the CME and CQG. That's very important because then we control all the execution, we control all the performance and all the data. And so that what we really rely on then is when someone gives us a system, we have a process to take them through in order to put them on our platform. So we just don't put every system up here that comes to us. We have certain criteria they have to meet, meeting with what we have as our parameters. And so that sometimes is confusion to people. It's like, well, no, the system was just given to you, or they're sending you signals, or it's their performance. No, when someone gives us a system, we create all the performance, because our goal is full transparency to the client when they can know exactly what's going on as far as execution, dollars, and fills. I'm going to jump to a few different pages, and I know time is somewhat limited, but here, when you go to stage 5, you can see we show the top 10. And so this is the top 10 for today, and we show the current session. This will break down the market, the product. We actually show you the positions, and we show you the closest orders if there's stops in the market. Here, we do show the previous session. I like the previous session and the previous month a lot, because a lot of times clients will say, well, gosh, yesterday when the markets made this move, how did the systems do? Well, here we can give you a snapshot of the top 10. We can also show you the snapshot of last month, last year, and since inception. So again, the idea is to give as much information as we can to you guys so you can break it down further to find what system is going to fit your risk and reward parameters.
Yeah, Walter, with that being said, what type of parameters do you go through when you vet a system before it makes it to the iSystems for people to see?
It has to be 100% coded, period. And so when they give us a system, it goes through our programmers, where we don't have to necessarily look at the code, and that's a whole conversation for developers, is they send it to us encrypted, we go through it, and we want to make sure that the execution is correct, we're getting signals that are clean, the orders are being placed, and the performance is what we do. So when they send us the system, we then generate all the performance I'm going to show you. We generate the backtesting, we generate the tracking, and then we track it real time and post all those fills as well. So that's the big, without going into too much detail, they have to give us the system. If they don't want to, then it's not going to go on our platform. If they want to send us signals, it's not going to go on our platform.
And 100% automated.
100% automated. And that's
no manual intervention.
No manual intervention at all. Everything is 100% automated, 100% programmed, from risk to trades to position size. So everything that a client puts in, we do on our side, again, with co-located servers here in Chicago with the CME and CQG. I mentioned CQG because that is our routing engine. We use their API in order to transfer the orders independently directly into your account. So there's no give-ups and there's no block trading. So we've eliminated those extra costs as well.
Awesome.
So here you can come in here and you can spend hours on this page, and I'll kind of give you guys an overview and then we'll touch on the performance. But here's where we'll track and show all the different systems. And so if you select on any particular system, it's going to come up and show you what the performance is. Here, though, you can sort by developer, by start dates, by winning session. You can customize this table with what you want to look at. And we go into great detail to show you as much information as we can. You can also filter the systems. This is one of the most popular features, and really maybe one of the least used features on the site, because you can go in and then you can sort by anything that you want to look at, from drawdown to ratios to markets. Are there real clients trading the system? To the developer, start dates, and this really then breaks down what you're looking at the systems, because currently we're running 718 systems live.
Do any of those systems trade options?
No options. We are all futures, all exchange traded futures, and we do trade globally, so we trade indexes overseas. No options, no Forex.
Cool.
So here, every sheet, every performance sheet that you see is going to be the exact same for every single system. So we've made the format the same. So once you understand what you're looking at, once you're looking at the first one, you'll know on the rest of the systems. As an example, this is a magic pattern crude system. It gives the developer, it's a crude oil, it's an intraday system. It never takes a position overnight. It's always out at the end of the day. It shows the cost of the system. With this one is $70 per month per contract. All the performance that you're looking at is on a per contract basis. There's no money management involved. There's no leveraging. It's all on a per contract basis. Here then it breaks down tons of statistics, and this is where you really can dig as deep as you want. We show the total P&L. We show since it was tracked. This is when we loaded it on our machines. This is live P&L. And then, of course, we show the worst drawdown, suggested capital, and then required capital. Now, I'll come back to suggested and required capital in a minute because that's extremely important when it comes to the risk protocols we have built in. But as you break down these statistics, again, we show this being fully automated, we can break these numbers down. We will show the best session, the worst session, the drawdowns, and when we do these statistical numbers, we color code it 3 different ways. So you can see the white. So in October, the system was given to us. We went through our protocol. We loaded it on our machines. And so when we do the back testing, a lot of problems in the past with systems we've tried to, again, solve here. One of those is developers, they post on websites certain performance, which would look great. But then we would start asking questions. Well, have you put in slippage? Have you put in commission? Did you put in the cost of the system? And, typical developers would have different excuses why they did or did not. My excuse back to them is, well, you buy a car, you're never going to put gas in it, you're never going to drive it, you're never going to have maintenance. So what we try to do is break this down as far as we can to give a realistic expectation of what a client can see in the past, but also see in the future. So every time when we build the track record on the hypotheticals, the first day of the month, what happens in the account? $70 is pulled out. And then we show all the trades. All these trades are inclusive of $25 round turn or $12.50 aside, all in commission. And then we use our slippage calculation for this particular market. The slippage calculation is a 50-day moving average of what we see in the market. So again, we're trying to create a realistic expectation of the past from drawdowns to profits. Once the system goes yellow, that's when we're tracking it. This is when nobody is trading the system across the entire world. We've got clients all over the world. No one has selected to trade the system, but we still show the same information. The first day of the month, $70 comes out. We show the P&Ls, which is after slippage and after commission. We break this down in the trade log, which I'll show you in a second, so you can see all the trades and the sessions. The green is when we have clients that are live trading the system, and these are clients that are taking the signals. And again, we post this information as well. The first day of the month, there's your $70. You're down $70 because that's the reality of it. These are the 3 trades that we had this particular month. What's important about the trade log is we show you the exact trade. And so on the 26th, we had a sell at the market. This is the hypothetical price. Here's the average price. Here's the best and worst fill we got across all clients across the world. And so we show that number where then in the track record, we use the average price. So we show you, we get negative slippage, we get positive slippage. It all depends on market conditions at the time.
With this type of granularity, is it possible to export into Excel?
Absolutely. And so that's where this right here comes into. You can export all the trade by trade into Excel, and you can also download the session. So these are the session logs as well. So we show people what the session is when it was in a position. This is very helpful. The trade by trade is very important, especially when you're trading the system. You want to make sure we're posting, you're following along with what we're doing, and that's going to be the average price. But the session log, I think, is a truer picture for you as a client to break down how the system is reacting, how it did over certain days, certain periods of time as you make a selection to pick a specific system to trade. What's good about then when we post all this information, that's where we tell people, again, back in the day, and I know some of you might be system traders or not, there would be a difference if a developer, we show a system lost $1,400, a developer might go in, tweak the code, next thing you know, it's break even for the month. Well, now you come back to the platform and you say, wait, no, I lost $1,400, and the developer's saying he broke even. Well, we don't let the developer change the code. We will show you exactly what happened. And so we tell people, as you compare your trades to your statement to what we're showing on the platform, we are going to fall in line. There won't be a material change between the two if you take every single trade of the month, because that's what we're posting. And that's important because it gives, I feel my job is to give you as a client confidence in the platform, confidence in what you're looking at, how the systems make money or lose money. I'm not the developer of the systems. My job is to keep everything in line with what's happening in your account to what's happening on our platform.
Okay, so the commission here, that's obviously higher than a standard self-directed account. This is structured to pay for all of the iSystems. It's a standardized iSystem commission, correct?
Correct. It's standardized across everyone. Everyone pays the same commission. And the reason for that, one, yes, it is higher, but you're paying for an incredible infrastructure. And that's what I tell people. Like everyone, you look at TradeStation. TradeStation was built off people trying to build systems. I come from the trading floor. People would chart by hand trying to create a system. Everyone's trying to create a way of trading that fits their risk protocol. Well, here, we're kind of, here's Coblanc, here's 700 different systems to pick from. So in this commission, pays for the platform, pays for the execution, the monitoring, the transparency, the testing, the performance, the software, the data fees, everything is inclusive in that one fee. The only extra fee that a client pays is the lease fee, which is a monthly lease fee per contract. So
And
that's
that
the
goes
only
to
other
the developer, the program developer.
That's correct. That goes to the developer at the end of the month. So let me touch on that real quick. So the lease fee, what we do, again, we've built this on the client's perspective. I'm building this as I'm a client. We prorate the lease fee. So if it's the 15th of the month and the lease fee on this particular system is $100, let's say, at the end of the month, if the system is still active, we will charge the account $50 for the prior month, and then we charge him $100 for the next month. So if the next month he quits trading, we've already pulled the money out and sent it to the developer. So there's no credit card. So we prorate the first month going in, then we'll charge if the system's active the next month. So we really did that, one, to be as fair as possible. Two, if a client opens the account on the 25th, he doesn't have to wait 5 days thinking that he's going to pay too much in lease fees. We'll only charge him for those 5 days. And all of this is broken down on iSystems under your account. So once you have access, you'll be able to see how this all works as far as prorating and the fees and what's being pulled out of the account. And one important thing to say is there's no credit cards involved here. And so we will pull the account directly from the fees directly from your account at the FCM, and then we take care of the billing cycle to the developers. There's nothing that a client has to do.
Okay, great. But I can open up a S5 iSystems account with my own S5 self-directed account, right? So I can have both?
Well, yes, you have to have both. So that's one thing. That's a good point. So if you have your own self-directed account, what you'll do is the guys at Stage 5, they will open up a related account for you, because I need a specific iSystems account where you physically move money into it, because when you move that money into it, that's how we do our risk protocols. So it can be a related account, but I need a specific account. So if you're ever going to trade in your iSystems account, you're going to our platform, which is a good time to bring up suggested and required capital. So suggested capital, that's exactly what it says. It's suggested capital. And all these statistics, all the numbers are based off suggested capital. Required capital is what we absolutely require in the account in order to trade a particular system. And so as an example, this system is $1,800 a month. So at the beginning of the day, we do pre-risk analysis. We look at the account. If you've got $1,900 in the account, you will get that day's trade if there is one. At the end of the day, if your account drops below $1,800, you will be automatically deactivated from the system. We come up with a required capital based on our worst session that we've tested back, in this case, back to 2009. And again, I could go over all these numbers. You can look at them yourself. And that's another thing to point out. I am giving you a demonstration today. Demo accounts only let you start and stop. So all this information you're looking at, we call it open architecture. You can see everything by going to the site on Stage 5. You can see the trade by trade. You can download the sheets. The demo, all it does is start and stop. So here, let me show how we activate systems. So like here's a particular system. The system is locked. You see systems are going to be locked. It's a two-step process. And here, let me jump over to this real quick. So here, my systems, it'll show you, I'm in 2 different systems, and it updates live during the day. It'll show you what positions you're in. It shows you, what you've P&L'd. On the demo, the performance tab doesn't work in the demo environment. once you have a live account, the performance tab is awesome because it will track everything that you're doing. If the system is making, like this particular system's losing $742 for my account, if I decide I want to stop it immediately, you can go in and just do that. You can go in and you can stop the strategy immediately. It'll ask you, do you want to stop now or don't take any more trades after the session? It's like having a conversation with your broker. I want to stop now. You accept the disclaimer, and now automatically the system is deactivated, and you'll see now, see my required capital, everything changes. The system's been filled, the system's been deactivated, your required capital changed. So this shows you your required capital.
You've deactivated the system. Are you still able to track what that system would have performed had you stayed in?
Correct, and that's under the performance tab in a live account. It'll show you if the system goes on to lose $1,700 or make $1,000, it'll show you how you either outperformed or underperformed the system. So it tracks all of that for you, and there's a detailed chart. It's really a lot of information that we don't do in the demo account just because it's like trading a live account. But once you have a live account, and that's one thing too, I always tell people in any sort of trading environment, start slow. You know, if you're interested in systems and iSystems, yes, get an account going with the guys at Stage 5. Start slow. See how it goes. Get your confidence in the platform that we've built to give you guys an understanding of really the power of what you're looking at. Here, let me show you how to activate a system. So if I go to the top 10, and here are these particular systems, you can see systems are locked and unlocked. If I pick any system, this Boone system, I'll go in and you say, okay, I want to trade this system. Again, it's a two-step process. I'm buying the lease. I agree to pay $110 a month for 1 unit. You can trade multiple units. And some systems give flex things. I've got people that will trade 10 contracts on a particular system where the developer will give you a discount, obviously. But here, I'm subscribing. So what's happening now is you're agreeing to pay $110 a month for the right to trade the system on a 1-contract basis. You accept the disclaimer. And now it asks you, again, we try to make it where there's really not, you know, we don't have a manual, so to speak. It's a process. Okay, you've activated the system. What do you want to do? Do you want to activate it now? I want to activate it now. And then it'll ask you, do you want to get in better? Do you want to get on next entry, or do you want to get on next market open? What do you want to do as a client? I want to get in on next, I want to get in right now. Because a lot of clients, what they'll do is if they stop a system, they'll go right back in and then activate it to enter on the next signal. So they'll stay out of this trade, they'll enter the next trade. So here I want to get in, oh, I did if better.
So what does that actually mean, get in if better?
So if better, so here's my condition. So I don't remember the exact position of the system, but let's say it was long at 10 and the market's trading 12. It's going to try to get you in at 10 or better.
Okay,
so it'll try to always get you in better than what the system says.
And if it's not better, then you're just not in and you'll wait till the next signal?
It'll just wait until to try to get you in better. If it doesn't get you in better, it'll, and this system closes out, this position closes out, it'll get you in on the next signal.
Cool.
Very. So that's kind of the key thing is now a client has full control over what to do. There's no broker interaction. So if I do one here, if I pick whatever, this crude oil system, so now I want to, oh, I've already activated this one. Let me get another one.
Now, Walter, this information, all this data, because you put it through your own metrics in terms of importing the trade data and statistics, none of it's curve fitted, right?
Well, we import
it could be before
code.
It gets to you.
Absolutely. I mean, systems by nature are curve fit. I mean, people, when you're building a system, you're building it to the current market environment. And that's a whole nother, I could do a 2-hour seminar on something like that. If, you know, what's the best system? What do you think I should do? Well, that's the million-dollar question. It depends on what you're looking at. To me, I like to look at systems that are in drawdowns because if they're in drawdowns and I look at the history of the system and they do come back up to their average, the odds of my success could be higher. You could, you know, but there's always a saying in system trading, there's always the biggest drawdown, a new drawdown, and new equity high in front of you. So that's a whole nother philosophy question. But
and
here,
then once it enters the platform, then it's fixed.
Correct. That's totally it. There's, again, no human intervention, No person trying to make decisions.
Cool.
So here, I'm going to subscribe now. Again, same routine. I'm accepting the disclaimer. Now I want to activate it. I'm going to do immediate activation. And then boom. So no calling a trade desk, nothing. It's filled. Protective orders are, the orders are sent around it. Everything is done instantly, automatic through the platform, which is key. Your buying power changes. Everything changes here because we read the account tick by tick. So we're always reading the account. So this is to your client, it's considered read only. And what that means is you cannot have a trading platform like Stage 5's analyzer hooked up to the account to trade trades, because we're reading the balances, we're reading the positions. If a trade goes in there, we're going to resync it. We have an entire infrastructure behind it that has been built over 10 years that always, our goal is to stay in line with the system. We don't know if we're going long crude, if it's going to make money or lose money. All we know is we want to stay in line with exactly the code that's been given to us and the system that we're trading.
Okay, so are you able to see the orders, for example, if you're in a position, the targets and stops?
Correct. So here you can see your fills and you can see your orders. So there's no existing orders right now, but this is a demo. So a demo certainly has limitations. But yes, you will see what fills you've had for the day. You'll see any working orders. You're going to see your performance, your licenses, everything. So
okay,
again,
so if I'm on the go, I can look at my S5 mobile and actually see that the position is actually being actively monitored with a target and a stop, and I know that I'm safe.
It's whatever the system does. So if the system doesn't have a target, then we don't have a target. But we're always monitoring the position to what the system says, and that's where we look at, if you pull up any system here, you can also see, well, okay, here's the average losing session. Here's the average winning. Here's the worst session that we've ever seen, which was back in 2008 on 124. It lost $963. That's how we come up with our required capital. Since this is an intraday system, our required capital is less. The overnight systems is different, and that brings up a good point. The overnight, so if I look at, which one we were looking at earlier, whatever, we'll look at this one. So here, this is a mini Russell system. And so the mini Russell system is a swing system. So we take 100% margin plus our risk. So I don't know what the margin on a Russell is. It's probably, what, $3,000 or so. So we've built in $3,000 as full margin plus our risk protocol. So at the end of the day, if this account is at $4,400, it's below our risk parameters on the platform to protect you as a client, and we will then automatically deactivate the system. It's a great feature because I've got lots of clients that are overseas that travel. They set up their systems, but there's a system draws down, or his account does, we will start deactivating before he goes to zero. So it's not like he has to monitor iSystems on a daily basis, because we are going to follow the signals exactly until two things happen. You as a client stop the system, or you run out of money, for lack of a better term. Go ahead.
Would it ever like be an example that the software would actually exit the position as well to protect you, or is it just after the signal is done, it stops from taking new signals?
It's basically required. If your account goes below required capital, it is going to either deactivate your system where you won't get any more trades, or if you're in a position, it'll liquidate it automatically. And everything, too, that's something to point out. Every time you start and stop a system or you get deactivated, you are sent a confirmation email straight from us. So it'll tell you you've been deactivated for insufficient funds, or you just started the system. Just like if you call Anthony and you're traveling, hey, I'm in this Russell system, I want to get out, he can do it for you, and you'll still get a confirmation email. And that's one thing to point out. Your account at iSystems is a self-directed account. And the reason why that is so cool is when you open up one account and it's funded and we give you access, You can trade one system in that account or 100. It doesn't matter. This is not letter of direction business. So it really puts the power of the platform in your hands as a client, and then also your broker to help you. But you don't have to call your broker to get in and out of a trade. You don't have to do that. You can do it all yourself, which kind of gives you the freedom to be able to focus on selection of systems and not have to worry about the execution of systems.
Perfect.
So I could keep going if you want, unless you want me to do some questions. It's up to you guys.
Well, in regards to the performance, is it showing the performance including the costs of the license fees, the commissions, slippage, all of that?
Everything. And usually it takes a few times for clients to figure this out. So again, if I just pull up a system, you can see this particular system, and all of our rates are based on the product, not the system. So every E-mini system on the website is going to be $15 all in.
Okay.
And that which is built in. So yeah, you can look at here, the first of the month. There's your $150 that came out of the account. So there's the cost, and then for commissions, we use the commission rate. And now since we're live, we don't use this slippage. We use the actual slippage. So we use, on this trade, we had to sell at this price, and you can see this was the average price. Here's the best fill and worst fill. So your account will always be filled between the best and worst fill that we post on the website.
Okay, now are you able to see those orders while it's trading? Like that, can you look at, yes.
Yes, the client, and that's where if you go back to My Systems, you'll see what fills that you've had, and you'll see what orders are in the market.
Okay, great.
Correct. So again, that comes back to full transparency. I mean, that's really what I'm after here. We want to bring systems to the market that we control, we have, that we post, and then we want to provide that execution engine to you guys, and that's where our entire infrastructure has been built out over a 10-year period, hence the higher commission. But a lot of people, especially that come from the retail side that are trading their own accounts that are paying, very low commissions, once they realize the power that we're bringing to them and the tool, it makes all the sense in the world to them. And all of the commissions are built into this performance. So, even if you were to get a $3 cheaper rate or a $2 cheaper rate, it's not going to affect, because this is not high frequency trading.
Right.
So even if it's 10 trades a month, $2, $20, we're not talking material difference in that commission, which is important, because that is something that people have to realize. I think it goes to just like if a client is looking at a CTA, as an example, well, a CTA will take 2% management fee and 20% of the profit. Well, you're paying to have someone manage your account. Well, now you're paying for the infrastructure that we've created, but we've built it into the commission, which I like. Here, let me just jump on one more thing, because I get this question a lot. You're going to see different versions of the same system. And so what happens, there's not some sitting here right now, but you'll see what we do. So if a developer comes to us with a different version, we ask them what the changes are. And if they're small, we can go ahead and make the change. If it's a material change to the performance, then what we'll do is we'll post a new track record, a new system. And
okay, so you won't modify a system's code.
We don't modify anything. If the developer comes to us and says, hey, I've done an update of my system, because that's, again, there's a whole nother philosophy question. I've got overseas clients that they believe that they want to track as close to current market environments as possible. So they will ask the developers or look for new systems that are on the platform, because it goes back to the curve fitting discussion. They've been curve fit to the typical market environment that we've had in the last 3 months. So they think they could do well for the next 3 to 6 months. Where other clients say, no, I want to see a longer track record in the real time. Well, I've solved both questions for both clients. So you can look for longer real-time track records. That's fine. You can look at systems that are newer that have been curve fit. Again, my goal to you as an investor and as a client is I want you to have confidence in the platform, knowing that if you were to select this gold system as an example, This one's been running a little bit longer. So again, you pull up the system. You've become an expert after the last 30 minutes with me. You know it's a gold product. You know it's a swing system. You know it's $145 a month. You know that it was loaded back in January. This was the first month, and since inception, you can see how we've performed, and it breaks it down up here. Here's since tracked. Here's live P&L, and that's after commission. That's after the cost of the system. So that's after all your cost as an investor.
Cool. Are there descriptions of what each system is?
We used to put descriptions up, and that really, it was more of a confusing nature for clients. It's something we're addressing internally because what we have, a system is a system. We have day trade systems and short-term swing systems.
Yeah, exactly. So can you
nature.
filter, for example, can you filter for, I want a swing system, I want a day trading system, I want a trend system. Is there a way to filter that to find a system that might fit my needs, might fit my appetite?
Well, you can filter swing and intraday for sure. You cannot, do, is this a breakout system? Is it a retractment system? Is it a overbuy type system? But let's do a filter real quick. That's a good idea. So here, of all the systems we're doing, let's just say I want to look at, E-mini and crude systems. So out of 718 systems, I'm running 158 crude oil and E-mini systems. Now you can say, okay, I want to now see what's been profitable for the last 3 months. So you add your filter. So I want to see, so now it'll filter out of 158 systems. I have 58 systems that have posted a profit in the last 3 months. And that profit can be hypothetical, tracked, or real time. So this is where you can start breaking it down into what you are looking for as an investor. And I kind of call it a spreadsheet on steroids, because once clients really realize this, they can break this down. They can filter then the numbers here. You can do required capital, worst drawdown. One thing to remember that I have clients that do is once you log out and come back in, wait, what happened to the 700 systems? You still have 2 filters activated. So if you want to start from scratch and clear your filters, there you go.
Back.
So that's important. So you can then filter, again, in this filtering, and this is open architecture. So you can go to Stage 5's website after this thing and start filtering, start looking, everything is done, and that's where the only thing different in the demo is starting and stopping, which, as I've shown you, is a 2-step process. After you do it once or 2 times, it's a piece of cake. And you can do that 24 hours a day. So we offer 24-hour liquidity, 24-hour transparency. So at any time, you can go in and make adjustments to your account, adjustments to the systems, and again, it's going to ask you want to do it now, in the overnight, it'll, if the market is open and we look at all market sessions, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. But once you set it, it's going to keep trading until 1, you drop below required capital, or 2, you tell the system to stop trading.
Nice. What is the TM rating?
It's a rating that we've come up with, which based off worst drawdown, return, length of track record. And so you can mouse over anything here, and it's going to give you explanations of what we're talking about. A lot of the developer names, let me touch on that. It's another question I get, well, how much due diligence do you do on a developer? It's not necessarily the developer, it's the code. Because the developer, once they give us the code, they don't control, they don't decide when to trade, they don't decide anything else. The code's locked down on our servers and they have no access to it. So a lot of people will have different names, but what's great about the developers being able to sort them is you find a certain developer that you like for whatever reason, well, you can see what other systems he has up here. Again, you can also run a filter. So you can run a filter by the developer, you can run a filter by clients, you can do it by worst drawdown, by current drawdown. So that's where, again, you can start to break this down as much as possible. And the developers set the lease fees. I have nothing to do with the lease fees. Whatever lease fee they set, though, we build into that, into the performance, so they know they are very sensitive over lease fees for sure.
Well, I mean, that's their incentive, right? We want to pay someone for coming up with their intellectual property.
But at the other side of it, I also, as being on the client side, I want to see that built into the track record.
Heck
Sure,
yeah.
this car is great, but if I'm getting 2 miles to the gallon, it's kind of counterproductive, or at least they know what they're getting, so that's where they build in that number, they see it. But once you guys do have access, again, you will have full transparency. It's fascinating. It's very interesting to watch how it interacts, again, with your account, with what you're doing, to what we're showing. And that's what I kind of really tell people is, we just didn't build this yesterday, and it wasn't a bunch of programmers. This is built by guys who have come from the trading floor, who know the FCMs, who know order routing, who know the server aspect of it. We've built it really for the client behalf, taking away issues that I felt were issues in the past with system development, where we want things to line up. We want you to have confidence in the platform, so when you're picking or choosing a system, it's going to be managed properly for your account.
Great. Okay, so we have a lot of questions. I don't know if we want to start wrapping up here and taking public questions. Terry, if you want to come on and help us filter through these.
Okay.
Because it looks like we've got a lot of good questions here. And we could probably keep talking about this forever, huh, Walter?
I totally. That's why I was like, only give me an hour.
One good thing. If you go to the S5 iSystems page real quick, there's this little form. So if you guys have any questions, if you want anything, you just fill out this form, submit it. A broker will get in touch with you, and we'll walk you through all this. So you can have one-on-one time going through the software, filtering different systems, finding something that may work for you, may fit your needs, and to explore the systems, which is the page that Walter was just on, you just click that green button that says click here to explore. But yeah, fill out any.
I would totally encourage this. Especially, I work closely with these guys. Any question that they have that they can't answer for whatever reason, they're coming to me. And so
Yes.
you're going to get it from the developer. Not to, toot my horn or anything, but I'm not a sales guy of the product. I'm one of the developers of the product. And again, it's important because we want to break it down to get you guys at a comfort level. But I would definitely encourage, for them to either walk you through a demo or to make sure, you guys are on the right page looking at it. These guys will follow up with you.
And finding something that fits your risk appetite.
Absolutely.
Or hopefully. Okay.
All right, I see one question, and let's see. What is the relationship between Stage 5 and iSystems? When you say you built it, does that mean you own or are you related to the company iSystems?
Correct. The relationship between us and Stage 5 is I'm a software developer. So I am like CQG. We provide them with the software. We provide them with the support. And then they take care of you as the client.
Okay. Do you have a daily ranking system for the different...
we show the top 10. So here were the top 10 systems for today.
Oh, okay.
And when you're on this page, like tomorrow, this is like a Christmas tree, because it's always like, you'll see the system switch on which one's ranked. It's all instant. And so this is a great page that I encourage people to follow along with, because you can start to see what systems are doing well during certain environments, especially when there's big moves in the market. This previous session is one of the most popular side of, hey, we had a big blow off to the upside after a gap open. What systems made money? And then you can start, again, diving into, it's one thing to find a system that makes money. More importantly, it's deciding what systems has a drawdown that you can handle as an investor, because every appetite of every investor is different. So that's where the beauty and the danger can be. It's like, I've had people my entire career, oh, well, what's the best system? Okay, well, you want to drive a Ferrari or a minivan? Take your pick. And one's a lot more expensive and it's going to cost you a lot more when you crash. One's more affordable and you can put a bunch of kids in. So that's why there's really no right answer of the best system. But what I can tell you is, we have the code, we run the system. So, again, it's going to be transparent to you as picking what system is right for you.
Okay. Do the developers actually put any of their own money into trading these systems? And is there, I guess,
Yes.
any kind of exclusivity with these systems and iSystems?
No, yes, developers put their money, some developers put their money with the systems. No, we do not require exclusivity. To me, I've never liked that. I don't, here's our product, here's what we have, a system's up here. You want to trade it with me, you want to trade it with someone else, that's fine. But I can tell you from what I've seen in the market, no one can provide the transparency and liquidity and the infrastructure that we have. So yes, I do think there's an advantage with iSystems and the way we handle you as a client, but we do not require exclusivity at all.
Okay, I think you misunderstood. I'm talking about the developers providing the strategy. Are they only providing the strategy to iSystems, or are they able to go and shop the strategy to however many people they want?
They can shop it to whoever they want.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Man, there are a lot of questions. Let's see. Can I correlate the performance of two or more systems, i.e. results, drawdown, etc., or do I need to download the performance series and do it all myself?
We do not. It's a long-winded answer. At this point, we do not offer portfolios, so you cannot blend two systems together to look at correlations. That's something we're working on, and really that's, we're working on with the NFA to come up with exactly how to present that. And so no, at this point, you would have to download the spreadsheets to do the correlation reports on your own, unfortunately.
Okay. Do you monitor systems for statistical outlier losses based on historical performance?
Well, sure. We give all the information. So anytime you look at any system, you can see what the max drawdown was, what the statistics are. So sure, we map that all right here, and then also you can break it down here. You can change your history to decide if you want to look at a closer, from here to here, or the length of a drawdown. We can break that down.
Okay. Is there a way to, I guess when you're looking at the strategy, to understand how the strategy is operating, why it's taking the trades it's taking?
No, and that really comes into the description side, which we don't offer anymore because we felt people were too consumed with the description and would lose focus of the numbers when, a client should focus on the numbers more than a description, because anything is so short term. A description, I think, can be more confusing. Like, I thought this was a counter trend system and today was a perfect counter trend day. Well, what he might think of a counter trend to what the next guy thinks is a counter trend, there can be some opinions in the middle of there because it's such a short time frame. So the answer is no, we don't do that, but we give all the numbers for analysis.
Yeah, and so they are seeing the trades live, so they're able to see what risk the trader is taking or the system is taking, and
Correct.
the different targets and whatnot. So they can.
Well, here you can see this system shows it's long. It's been long since the 7th. So we'll show current positions.
Okay. I think I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it just to make sure. If we're running a system, we can open a chart and watch it live and see the entry and stop target positions. I'm assuming this was what you're talking about with the iBroker app. You're able to watch the trading via the app?
No, you have to really, you can look at your open positions, but it's not going to show on a chart, where on our platform, where it went long or went short. It's just going to give you the straight numbers.
Okay.
But you'll see it on your account when it's filled. You'll see it show up in your account on your S5 mobile, on your S5 Trader desktop. You can actually analyze it if you have the S5 Trade Analyzer.
Well, and that's where I said early on is, if you're interested, start slow, get it, get an account open, put as much money as you feel comfortable, start with one of the intraday systems, and follow along, see how it works, gain that confidence in the platform. Because I can tell you, when people get confidence in the platform, they really take advantage of what we've built, which is great for everybody.
Okay. Is the profit and loss listed per unit or cumulative?
Per unit. I mean, we do it here. This is cumulative, obviously, but then everything is per one contract, one unit. So everything is one contract across the board. There are a couple of systems which they'll show you when you activate them that will trade multiple contracts, and you'll also see that in the trade log, but that's not very common. Everything, because that system specifically has that built into the logic where it'll tier its trades. But you'll see that in the trade log. So.
Okay. Man, okay. Sorry, there's a lot of questions. I'm just trying to get through and make sure I'm
you guys keep the Stage 5 guys busy. Shoot all these questions to these guys after the call. They'll take care of you. We'll answer them all for you. And that's the key part. I love questions because at the end of the day, if you ask a lot of questions and you decide this platform is great for you, awesome. If you decide the platform doesn't work for you, that's just as awesome.
Yeah,
we want people to we want it to fit their needs and their risk and their reward parameters. And, if it doesn't work and you want to continue to do your own trading or look for a CTA that, guys from Stage 5 can also help you with, that's cool too. It's just, whatever works for the client works for me.
Are they able to see the open, I guess like the target and the stop for an open order?
Correct. You'll see that under the My Systems. You'll see what orders and fills.
Okay. Okay.
Correct. And that's one thing too. You won't be able to adjust those ever. So you can't, cancel that stop. I'm going to take this position overnight. The rules of the platform are the rules of the platform. As a client, all you can do is start and stop the system. So you can't adjust the stop. You can't, I don't want the stop at 10. I want it at 12. I can't. All you can do is start and stop. You cannot adjust the orders.
Okay. Is a customer able to transfer money from their Stage 5 account into an iSystems account, or do they have to open a new account and wire fresh funds into it?
Nope,
yeah, you can transfer. Yeah, you would basically just open up a sub account. Definitely talk to your broker about it. He'll be able to help you get set up with it. But it's a pretty seamless transition. You open a sub account, get it enabled, and then you can request whatever amount of funds you want to move from your main account, your self-directed account, into that sub account, and then get that up and running for the iSystems.
Correct. Because we have to move money into the iSystems account because that's where we read the risk, that's where we read our margins, that's where we read everything.
Okay. Is there any statistics on the average life of a system, how long it lasts before it stops working?
No, and that's why we keep all the systems up here, and that's one filter we're working on. We haven't decided because now we have 700 plus systems. Is we like to leave systems up there because if a client ever comes back and wants to know if the system he was trading a year ago, he can go look at that performance. Again, that becomes a philosophy. To me, I like to look for systems that are in a drawdown or, mix them with ones that are working in current environments because, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, when you start a system that's losing money or if you start a CTA that's in a drawdown, statistically, if he comes back up to break even, that's new profits for you. So I kind of take the reverse approach where a lot of clients, unfortunately, they look for systems that are just hitting it out of the park. They start with the systems that it's, equity high, all-time high, and then the system goes into a drawdown, and then they go into that drawdown.
Right. So you have 700 plus systems. What would I want to do just to see the only systems that are trading live money?
Go to your filter. Just anything you can dream is probably in the filter.
I like dreaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how we came up with it. I mean, because we would get suggestions. We'd get, this, again, this has been built off our knowledge and our clients' knowledge, suggestions from all over the world. I mean, I've got clients in just about every country. So we get all sorts of crazy, weird suggestions, and,
Okay,
a lot
so
of
you
them we
open up a
implement.
filter, and then you can say, I just want live money.
You can go into the filter. You can say live P&L. You can sort by has clients, live sessions, since when. I mean, again, you could spend hours on this section.
Cool.
And again, it really helps drill down to what you're looking for. And again, you drill it down and you don't find what you're looking for. Hey, we did our job. I always feel like we did our job. If you find something you're looking for, great. We did our job as well.
Yeah, it helps you refine something to fit your risk parameters, your risk appetite, something that is a complement, hopefully a complement to what you're doing with your life.
Absolutely. It all comes down to risk capital.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, guys. Can you set
I mean, there's lots of questions. You guys, if you have any questions, I think, we had mentioned it before, I would just say go to that Stage 5 page and submit yes right there. So you go to stage5trading.com, and then you click on alternative investments, takes you S5 iSystems. Just fill out that little form there, and you'll have a one-on-one conversation with a representative, and they'll be able to help you with any aspect that you're looking for.
And I encourage, the more questions, the better. I mean, again, our goal, if we can get you to understand what's going on and it works, that's fantastic. So we encourage the questions.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you for the webinar today. Thank you for the information and, most importantly, your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And again, if y'all have any questions, please go to the website and you can type them in and you can talk with them one-on-one and they can answer your questions. Lots of thank you and stuff as well. So I think it was a great webinar. I look forward to having Walter and iSystems back on in the future.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
so much,
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye, guys.